share my story with you. And also part of the presentation today, I'm going to have you guys share some of your success stories. We have an extra microphone here that will go around. But I will start today just by sharing my own story and my experience with Kiwanis. And then I will end my talk time with a little commission for you guys. So as you can see, and as Greg said, I was born with partial limbs. I was born in Tacoma, Washington, and spent 6 weeks in Mary Bridge because they were surprised. Back in 1979, they didn't do ultrasounds in the womb, so it was surprised when I was born the way I was. And fortunately, I was adopted at birth. My birth parents did not feel that they were able to care for my needs. And so my birth mother bravely gave me up. I actually later in life got to meet her and realized what an amazing thing it was that she did that for me. And I had amazing parents. They not only adopted me, they adopted 5 of my siblings, and all 6 of us that were adopted have special needs. So, yeah, and then they had 2 of their own. And so I grew up in a family of 8 kids with a lot of diversity. The 3 youngest actually were a sibling set, and they were Hispanic. And so we were culturally diverse and ably diverse. And that was a wonderful environment to grow up in because it taught me about the world and just to see the world as everyone has differences and we're all just people with the same value. And I'm really thankful for that experience. I was raised in a very small town, Chehalis, Washington. It's about an hour south from here. It's a little farm town in the middle of nowhere, parts of that were great. Kind of the wholesome family atmosphere was good. I think the challenge for my parents and for some of my other siblings too, and for me, was that my parents actually single-handedly pioneered special education in my hometown. So at the time that I went into school, the public schools in my area had not yet adhered to the laws that all children, whether disabled or not, that schools covered under public funding had to accommodate children with special needs within the school. And that was not happening. They were sending kids with special needs to a separate school. And so they were telling my parents, well, we're going to have to send her to a separate school. And my parents said, no, she's going to be educated with her peers because, as you can see, I had no mental deficiency, and they did not want me to be sequestered away in an environment where I can be my best and get the best education possible. So my parents hired a lawyer and won the case, and I was able to participate in mainstream school. That was a blessing and a challenge at the same time, because I was put into a classroom where teachers had not yet been equipped for children with special needs. And so some of the struggles that I faced growing up in school was feeling sort of self-conscious. I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids feel this way, it's not just me, but I felt very self-conscious that I was like the only kid with a disability in the classroom, and I did a lot to compensate for that. And so there was, some difficulties that came along with that. But I'm so thankful that my parents fought for me to be in the mainstream classes, because I went on and got a degree at Pacific Lutheran University in psychology, and I also got a master's in counseling. And one of the things that helped me overcome those times was the yearly talent show that Kiwanis had every year in Chehalis. And I guess I've heard that doesn't happen in every city. But the great thing about this is that it's televised. It still happens every year in Chehalis, and it's televised in the local area there in Centralia and Chehalis. So it was a chance for me to be a star for a night, and every year, I think starting at age 11, up until I was 18, I participated in that talent show every single year, singing, and I placed every single year. I think I got first place all but one year when I got third place. So all of that was a really huge ego boost for me. And you know, I believe very strongly because of that experience that our gifts and talents open up doors in our lives, that if we didn't put them out into the world, those doors would remain closed. And so that, just participating in that talent show every year really gave me a good, positive experience of putting my talents out into the world and not being seen for my disability, but for my ability to sing. And then also getting the first place ribbon really helped a lot too. So that was fun. I also, in 5th grade, was a terrific kid. So all that, and 5th grade was my hardest year in school, I think. It's the year when everybody's kind of starting to grow up a little bit, and the teasing started to happen that year. So being named a terrific kid was really edifying for me. And along with that, actually, I remember that there was a Terrific Kid song. I don't remember the song right now. It was a long time ago, but as part of the award ceremony, our school choir sang a Terrific Kid song, and I got to be part of that. So Kiwanis was a part of my childhood growing up, and I am really thankful for that presence that was there. And so I'm sharing that just to say that what you guys are doing, it makes a huge difference in the world. And I learned through the talent show to put my talent out to the world. I started voice lessons when I was 6 years old. My parents recognized my ability to sing before I could even talk. They said that I would just sing in my crib, and they also said that the way I bellowed and cried, that I had a good set of lungs, and they were like, she's going to be an opera singer, which is funny because I actually studied classical music at PLU. So I did sing opera, and I do have a good opera voice. So they started me in voice lessons very early on, and the talent show was an opportunity for me to demonstrate my singing ability. And with that, with kind of honing my craft, when I went to PLU, I did study vocal performance, and then I went on, like I said, I got a master's degree. I had a talk radio show. I started a motivational speaking business in 2011. Prior to that, I was working and going to school. And now my public speaking career has taken off, and I do incorporate my talents into that. And so what I've learned in my life is that as I take my gifts and talents out into the world, it breaks down the barriers of discrimination. People stop seeing me as someone who's in a wheelchair with partial limbs, and they see me as a woman who sings well and speaks well. And I can dance too, and I skateboard, and you know, and as I show the world that, they start to see me for who I am and the talents that I have instead of my disability. The disability kind of just becomes a backdrop. And so as Greg said, I did win the title of Miss Wheelchair Washington, which was in March, and then I had the privilege of winning the title of Miss Wheelchair America just a month ago. And I think all the stage time during my years of participating in the talent shows gave me the confidence to go up on stage in the national competition and just tell my story confidently. So that's my success story. My platform is Miss Wheelchair America is Inclusion Revolution. So my goal is to take my story that I just shared with you out into the world, especially into the disability community. I want to show people with disabilities that you can overcome your disabilities by showing your talents into the world, by demonstrating your talents. And to everyone, I think needs to hear that message. Every person has a gift or a talent, and when we take it into the world and let it be seen, it changes the people around you, but it also opens doors for you in your own life. I know for me, if I had kept my talents hidden, then I don't know if I would have been able to go to college and do all the things that I've done, because people would have been looking at my disability, and it would have closed a lot of doors. And so that's my commission to you. Obviously, you guys are already doing that in a big way with Kiwanis. You are taking your gifts and talents out into the world. And I think more than anything, this is your chance to teach kids to do that, to help them see that they have a talent, they have a gift, and you're giving them that platform, whether it's through a talent show or a community outreach or a chance to travel or through Key Club. I know that you also have an outreach for people with disabilities, which is wonderful. And so you guys carry that message with you, that your limitations don't have to limit you. There's something beyond your limitation. Whether it's children who are financially restricted or have a disability or at risk, all those things that they're overcoming. You guys as Kiwanis are helping them see their talents beyond their challenges. And then as they become adults, they have that foundation to go share their gifts with the world, and it opens up so many doors of opportunity in the world. And I was sitting next to Roy at lunch, and he was just telling me about all the things that are happening in the world and the ways that the world is being changed through Kiwanis. So you guys are a huge part of that, each one of you. So keep doing what you're doing and challenge yourself every day to think of a big picture and a big vision and go after it. So that's my commission for you. And now I'm going to have Greg take a microphone around. And I'd like you to keep this brief, because I now want to give the people that want to share a chance to share. But I'd like to hear some success stories that you guys have of either overcoming your own limitations and then seeing something beyond that, or a child or even a group that you've helped. Obviously the White House story was a huge success story through Kiwanis today. So any of your own success stories, I'd like you to share really quickly here. Maybe keep it to like a minute. So Greg will just take the microphone around. Maybe just raise your hand.